Live. Hello, Internet. So I'm Joe.
I'm Eric, and you're listening to Just Cool Enough. And again, Ike's not here because it's really his fault.
It's
Honestly,
his,
if
yeah.
it's anyone's fault, it's his fault. Sure, he did tell one of us
He might have
a
told.
week ago,
He
and
probably told someone.
said, "Hey, don't forget to remind the other person on the show."
Yeah,
And then that person didn't, and then tried to chew out Ike for not being here, despite
let's not
giving
name
ample
names.
notice.
Let's not name names, but
Yeah.
let's not name any names. Though it wasn't my fault, asshole Joe, that happened.
No.
We'll just try to keep it. It was my fault, a secret. The whole entire Joe's a twat time.
Yeah.
So that's me. I felt like I was just like Ike was like part of me for a minute there. Like I was getting really spiritual. Like it was part of my being. So welcome to the show. If you want to participate in the show, you can participate by going to justcoolenough.com/live. We do the show each week at 6:30 Eastern Time. Justcoolenough.com/live is the place to go, and you could join the live chat room. Also, we put out a reminder on our Twitter, so go follow us on Twitter. All the information's on justcoolenough.com. Eric, how was your week? What were you doing? What were you up to?
Well, I did some interesting things. I had Dungeons and Dragons on Monday, and it's funny because like this is like I guess what we were calling our second season because I'd only played them with them for like 3 months, but they've been playing for like 9 months and something. They built up towards a big story conclusion, and we had the big final battle, and it was all really awesome. And then we took a few weeks off. We played some other things, and then had some off weeks. And this was the big start of our like second season, second push, which was nice. And one of the things was they said, hey, if you want to re-roll your character, you are more than welcome to. Either like you can adjust your current character or come up with a new one. And a bunch of us did. And mine, because I was playing a sorcerer who, I wanted to kind of change because I didn't think I was going to be playing with these people regularly. I thought like this was a one-off thing. I was going to show up one time and then never again. And then I showed up every week.
You're just going to be the sorcerer and then just leave?
Yeah, because I was like, I just have this character lying around because I was like, oh, my internet game isn't playing this week, so I'll hop on. I'll join these guys for a week, and then my internet game collapsed, and so I didn't have anywhere to play, so I just kept showing up. But I was like, I want to like put some thought into a character and stuff. So I came up with this really weird concept of a Goliath barbarian sorcerer.
Okay. I don't play D&D. I'm not Ike, so don't think I am.
Yeah,
and I barely find this interesting. So you need to spoon. I'm just like when a grandma like asks a 5-year-old like, oh, what did you do in school today, honey? Oh my! And then they're like, well, I went coloring, and then I did the thing, and they kind of mumble and don't understand. Yeah. Like, and the grandma's just like, that's nice. That's how I'm gonna be. I'm gonna try here for you though. So slowly help me grasp what you're about to say. All right.
Goliath.
Okay.
Barbarian sorcerer, which sounds as weird as probably you think it does, but Goliaths they're kind of basically half giants, and not exactly, but they are like 7 to 8 feet tall. They live in the mountains. They're like gray skinned, and they're like big old hulking like dudes who are mostly just punch shit and carry around axes. And he's a level 1 barbarian, a level 9 sorcerer, because you can multi-class and stuff like that. Okay. And the concept is that he was a Goliath in a tribe of Goliaths, and then one day he was training like all Goliaths to fight, and then one day he discovered he had magic, but because he doesn't like magic or want to be a sorcerer, because sorcerers are people who wake up one day with magic, unlike wizards who train. Sorcerers, you just wake up one day.
I didn't know that. So like in just the lore of all lores, just like what is it, the zeitgeist of fantasy role playing, sorcerer. I always wondered what
sorcerer.
See, I always thought sorcerer was like an evil dude. He was just like, I don't. No, like
that's more of a warlock thing. A sorcerer just has an innate ability that wakens up within them. A wizard is somebody who trains for a while, and then a warlock is somebody who sold a piece of their soul to some greater power for magical power. But yeah, he basically wakes up one day with magic and he doesn't like it. And in the fifth edition, there's a path of sorcerer called wild magic, where there's a chance, kind of a small chance, but a chance that when you cast a spell, it fucks up and causes some hilarious thing to happen. It could be anything from like you cast the spell and you accidentally cast this spell, or you cast the spell and a unicorn arrives, or you grow a beard of feathers, or just like weird shit that can happen very randomly. And so that's the path I took this guy on, is that he's like he has an axe and he can like hit people with it, but he's not great at it, and he has magic, but he can't control it all that well. And it was funny because like I came up with this, like I wrote the backstory and sent him to our dungeon masters, and they were like, yeah, that's great. And then I showed up to the game and we all had, like most of us had new characters, and it was fun. We were getting back into it. And then we get into our first fight and I'm being very conservative because like, oh, I don't want to waste all my spells. So I'm like,
What do you only get like one spell a day or something? What?
No, you get. I actually, it was stupid because we're level 10, so I shouldn't.
I don't know what that means. I know level
10
is max
is
level in vanilla WoW. What is level
10? 20 is kind of max level. So we're level 10. We've been playing for what? Like we're seriously powerful.
Okay,
and
so
like,
you're
yeah, and I'm
quite hardened experts, but you've been around the block a few times.
Yeah, like we're at the point where we should just fucking go all out because even if shit fucks up and some of us die, death isn't even that big of a deal anymore to us.
Oh,
like,
wow, that's a whole different level. Like once you skirt death.
Yeah, so I was playing real conservatively, and like one of the guys was like, he's like hit for like 56 damage on one turn, and I hit for like 7. And I'm like playing real conservative, like I'm trying to, and then I realized like I wasn't enjoying this character, and I realized I was kind of playing towards his story because I was using my axe and not really, and like a weak spell and stuff. And then I just fucking like one turn went all out and like swung my axe, and like I missed, but I used like, and then used a spell which did pretty well, but then my wild magic fucked up. And I cast Fireball, which is a big destructive like area of effect spells centered around myself that hit all the enemies, but also all our allies as well. And it was just like this awesome moment. I was like, oh, this is what I want from this character. Like he went in like swinging his axe and firing spells, and then exploded on accident, doing a lot of damage, nearly killing or knocking our cleric unconscious. And then like they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, oh, sorry. And then like after the battle, like my character was like, I've now that we've fought together, I should warn you, I'm cursed with magic. And they're like, yeah, we fucking noticed. And
so you found a way to make him fun, though.
Yeah, like at first I wasn't really enjoying him because like I was like I swing my axe, shit, I missed. Well, I guess I'll fucking use magic missile as a level 1 spell. Great, I do 7 fucking damage. Like at level, like when you're level 1, 2, 3, 7 damage can be, that can be a solid hit. But at level 10, fucking 7 damage is like, oh, I might as well have not done anything.
If I wanted a kiss, I'd call your grandma.
Yeah, instead I did like 20 something damage with the spell I meant to hit him with, and then an additional 38 damage with the explosion of myself that I wasn't meaning to do.
Oh, that's
and it
cool.
was like, it was great because it was like the worst case scenario is that happens. Like you're surrounded by your allies and you detonate a fireball centered around yourself, which was awesome. So it was like the worst possible thing, but in an awesome moment that made me go, okay, yeah, now I'm not gonna fucking like hold back anymore. But it was funny because I've got this ability that lets me, like, if I want to re-roll, like I can roll, and if I don't like it, re-roll using my magic to give myself advantage. And I wasn't really using it, and my GM was like, "Oh, you could use this on this thing." And I thought he was like, "Oh, he's just being real nice, helping me on." It wasn't because when I use that ability, he can just say it fucked up, and you have to roll on your wild magic table to see how it fucked up. Like that's why he was constantly encouraging me to use it, because he wanted shit to go all fucking wall-eyed and for me to like blow myself up like I did.
Isn't that part of the fun of being the dungeon master though? Like,
yeah,
watching the shit fuck up and trying to actively work against your dudes.
Yeah,
like when you're a dungeon master, you want a fun game, but I imagine you also want to kind of, like make them sweat a little bit,
Well, I think that's the fun moments. Even when like a character does die, we've had in just in the my short tenure in the group, like really close together, we had two of the main characters killed off, like permanently fucking killed off, which was fun in a way because just of how they died and the story. Like even though they're like they had to start new characters, they so like the story of it. Like one was they these two of these magic users were fighting over this staff, and then the other guy was going to get there first. So when he grabbed it, he started to turn it into a lich, which is a bad fucking character. And the other guy cast dispel magic on the staff, so it destroyed his soul and everything in it, which was it's just an awesome story point. And then that same character attacked another character with who was mind controlled and killed.
My biggest
fun story stuff.
I got, but like I feel like talking about Dungeons and Dragons is only interesting. It's like if I were to sit here and talk about fantasy football the whole time. It's like it's only interesting to the person that's really like into it or like really understands and comprehends the fact. It's like so like if I like started talking about fantasy football, oh yeah, I don't know if I should drop this guy this week or play this dude, or I had to look at these stats.
I think the difference is like we are in complete control of the story in a lot of ways. There's random elements. But fantasy football is you are watching a thing and then like kind of involved but not really.
But you know you're and that's the element.
A storytelling thing. Yeah. But
there's a story in fantasy football. You are watching your weekend unfold and these teams battle it out, and there's
you have no control over
stories. That. You have control of who you pick up as a player and who you drop and who you decide to trade with. I mean, you can make good trades and bad trades. But what I'm saying is like it's like it sounds so interesting when you're doing it. Like my fantasy football team's so interesting. Oh, it's by the way, just a quick humble brag. Internet Blumpkin Robots, my fantasy football team that I've had for 10 years, finally won the championship. Just saying. You know what I'm going to do next, Eric? I'm not going to Disney World. I quit. I'm never doing fantasy football again. Like, that's it. I'm leaving on a high note because it's not going to get better than that. So
well, I'm just happy that Los Angeles, the city that hasn't had a football team in 10, 15 years, now is going to have one and maybe three.
How does that even happen? Like,
well, because there was. It's still not official, but the Rams have been approved to move to Los Angeles, and the Chargers and the Raiders both want to move to Los Angeles. So they're going to have like a joint stadium together.
I don't understand how that city doesn't have a football team yet.
Well, they did for a while, for a few years when the Raiders were here, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just such a large market. Is it just because there's so many transplants there that people wouldn't be interested? I don't know.
I don't know, because there's a huge. I mean, it's still a huge, even though it's been a decade since. More than that, it's been almost
Raiders.
Yeah, it's been almost 20 years. I think it's been like 20 years since the Raiders have been here. I think it was like 93 when they came out. Yeah, so it's been like
on the internet. Yeah,
it was like 93, 96. I remember because my dad got season tickets when they moved back to Oakland, and we for the first 3 seasons they were in Oakland, we came back. But yeah, so it's been like 20 years since the Raiders have been here, but it's still a huge Raiders community. So
I bet.
Yeah. So I guess it's strange. I mean, people. I don't know. I'm not a sports guy, but the people that are into sports are really into it. Like the Dodgers. Like people fucking love the Dodgers here. Like so much. There's so much Dodgers love here. And once the Kings won the Stanley Cup, people gave a shit about hockey for a week.
They're like, wow, hockey, that's amazing. Let's do a parade. Fuck your hockey. Yeah. That was the next day. We don't really care about Stanley Cup. Who was Stanley anyway? Some guy.
I can buy a cup.
Anybody can buy a cup.
Get myself a cup.
I could find somebody named Stanley on LinkedIn.
Yeah. So eBay, find Stanley's cup. I know.
Yeah, easy.
Fucking thing.
So we have a listener out there is actually making a video game about us. Did you know that, Eric?
I knew a little bit about this.
So this listener has not divulged that many things about the video game that he's making to us. Makes me nervous because he's portraying us. But at the same time, it's a dream come true because I just think it's somebody's taking the time out of their day to portray us digitally, and that's cool enough for me. You know, like just cool enough that it is cool. That's cool. I think that's amazing. It's a dream come true. But if you were in an RPG, not to say that I know that he's making an RPG that's kind of like in a polygon count that is similar to N64, but if you were in a game like that theoretically, what would your like special power be to everyone? Do you have an idea of what that would be? Like
I mean,
what would be like yeah, your special power, what class would you be? Just, give me an idea.
I honestly, I think I would be I would be similar to a rogue in its sneakiness. I would have an ability called Irish Goodbye, where I could sneak out of any battle I wanted to without anyone noticing, like without taking I know in RPGs it's like you can like run away in Pokemon. I could run away as a free action, like without
just
like
free, and you just leave. Like what?
I have an advantage. Like if you're playing my character, you can run away from any battle. Like.
I think that's pretty accurate. I don't. I was kind of just thinking of this because in my little dreamland in my head, I'm like, ooh, oh, I think that was something I always thought about was what would I do in this video game, or how would I be, and character creation was always a huge part of any game I'd play, especially growing up, and I would always try to make the person look exactly like me. So it's funny, the game that I was able to get closest at the time was like I don't even know, it was like this I forget, it doesn't matter. It was a basketball game. It wasn't even like, it was NBA Streets. That's what it was. NBA Streets, and I made a character that looked just like me, same height, same weight. So this overweight, like 5'9" guy with a beard is sitting there like dunking on Michael Jordan, Ben Wallace, and all this stuff. Like ball on fire. It looks awesome. And I was like, oh wow, I want to get put in a game like that. But RPG skills, I don't know what class I would be. I think I'd just be like an NPC.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like a quest giver that's just like, now go do this, now go do that. I like that non-playable character. That's what I would be. And then like secretly I'm the bad guy at the end.
Yeah.
Like the whole time you were giving me quests, and then like I actually
I've read stories like you say it's boring to you, but that's Dungeons and Dragons if you tell the stories right. I read up people's stories on like Reddit and 4chan about like their games, and I'm sure half of them are made up if not more. But there was this one interesting one about these people who like they had an NPC quest giver who was having them do all this stuff and gather all this stuff, and then they realized the quest giver was like secretly trying to destroy the kingdom. But by the time they realized that, he'd already moved on. So then they made it an effort to like go after him. But because his plans were so grand and take so long to do it, no one ever believed them. And he was always like one step ahead of them. And like it's like, aha, he has a secret tunnel. Fuck, like chasing him. And that became their game.
I guess it's like when somebody, because I have read those. I think there's a whole site devoted to D&D stories. I'm sure there is, but
I think for you would be like that. Only your plans would always be half finished and never
half finished
quite
and fall through.
Yeah,
like, we caught, and I'd be like, I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you damn kids meddling
like, no,
and stuff.
This was doomed from the beginning. You gave up halfway through. And you're like, nah.
This was doomed from the beginning. How? Why didn't you guys tell me? It's like, Joe, we knew what you were gonna do the whole time. Slowly, everyone will listen to just. That's my evil plan. Get everyone to listen to just cool enough.
I thought of another thing. I would have like I would have less defense than everyone else. Like I could take all spells and verbal damage just fine. But if you ever actually physically touch me, I recoil and take double damage.
I think dude, you take double damage if girls attack you.
Yeah, if I mean anybody really, but like girls especially, like because my friend Pablo does that. Like he'll always like pat my shoulder and stuff like that because he knows I always like half the time it's a joke where I'm like but half the time he touches me and I do like physically recoil. Like I don't know why. It's like it's like there's no it's like hey, and I'm like like I'm like somebody's approaching me.
Speaking of games that we have been playing, there was, oh God, there was a game that I watched a tabletop on and ended up playing. It was a card game, and I think you played it. It was the one where you, like, two people are like spies and three people are part of the good guys that are trying to get these missions to
Was
succeed.
it Resistance Avalon?
It was. It was.
That's a good game.
It was a good game, except it made me, it made my wife distrust me and everyone.
That's
It
kind of
was.
like a lot of the games we play at our game nights are lie to your friends games, and that's a great one for that.
Those are fun games.
Yeah,
I actually played Sarah against me and made her trust Scott Dag the whole like, and we were both bad, and oh my gosh, you should watch the tabletop on it. I don't know.
yeah,
Is it?
they've done it. I've seen another great one is Shut Up and Sit Down. Did a playthrough a while ago. You can find the video there. There's is really fun as well. But yeah, it's a fun game where it's like it's your knights in King Arthur's courts, but some of you are actually bad and you're trying to like make the missions go awry, but you want to hide that you're the bad guy. It's fun. It gets real confusing when you got a player who like doesn't quite know the rules or kind of cheats
Yeah,
without it makes it kind of annoying. Like I
I
remember
didn't.
we were playing once and we're like, okay, you can't lie if you did this, and then like the girl, I guess, was she was new and we didn't fully explain it, and like lied about like what's thing, and we're like, well, she said she couldn't lie about, and then it was like, and like at the end we're like, what the fuck? She's like, well, I did it wrong. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to lie. And then you guys kept saying like I couldn't lie, and you did, and then I couldn't go back. Like what was I supposed? Then you would know, and then it's like, oh fuck.
That's actually the first round we played. I was like the omnipotent guy. I was the Merlin or
Merlin.
the
Yeah.
yeah, but I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I was only supposed to like open my eyes and find out who like one of the bad people were, not both of them. And I was just like, so I know this guy's bad, but everybody thinks I'm a bad person because I know too much.
No, you're supposed to
And
know who all the bad guys
yeah,
are.
well, I'm an idiot. I didn't quite. It was the first game we played. It was
When you
really
get the
bad.
rules right, it's amazing. When you
But
don't, it becomes weird because you're like,
that was
what?
exactly it.
We
Like,
had one person who because like you get a card that you keep secret that's either like a blue character or a red character, and red characters are bad, and then one of the person's got a blue character, but the guy looked kind of sinister, so they assumed it was a bad guy, so they were playing bad. So it was actually, we were outnumbered bad to good, and then we're like, it can be kind of weird and chaotic when the rules don't get quite right, but when you got everyone and everyone's got the rules down, it gets really fun.
I had me and Scotty. We shut it down. We both on the last game we played of the night. We got 1, 2, 3. Just each one of them. We won as the bad person. The first one where there's two people that go out on this mission. I pretended I played the wrong card. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought I was good. Holy shit, I thought I put it in the wrong pile. I'm such an idiot. And everybody's like, oh, Joe, you laughable idiot. And I'm just like, true evil through stupidity. You'll never suspect it. And then the third round, they're like, wait a second, Joe, this whole time it had to be you. And I was like, no, really, I blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Scott's good, just go with him. Fine. I'm trying to work towards the. We convinced everybody, and then Scott's just like, I'm evil too. Gotcha, bitches. It was
Yeah.
just the game was. I
We
like the lie to your friends game, but
yeah.
I have such a hard time being a good guy in the game. It's really tough. Like, do you have that problem, or is it just?
No, no, I mean, it's you just kind of have to. It's a math game, like of like, okay, these person, like who's the least like. It's tough because you have to make a lot of decisions about like, and with very limited information. It's fun. You never quite know,
Well,
and
it's
then
something
unless
about.
you do know, which is kind of annoying when you figure it out real early on, and you're like, well, I guess we automatically win. But the fun part is like, even if the good guys win, the bad guys still have a chance to like steal the win, which is, I think, is a
Right,
nice
yeah, you
mechanic.
could play the.
We play a lot of those games, and you learn a lot about your friends. Like our friend James, where like he's always fucking evil. Even if he's not, he's always fucking evil. We never trust him. And then his girlfriend. Like I remember we were playing not that game, but another game, and she like just come home from work and she was tired, and she was like, "Fine, I'll play." And then she was like, "I don't know what's going on. I'm fucking whatever." And it was all the fucking act because she was a mastermind of it. We're like, "Holy fuck!"
That's good. You got to use your surroundings. She's like a SEAL Team 6 kind of girl. She's just using her surroundings as cover, ghillie suit and all, mental ghillie suit.
Yeah. It's fun. Yeah, we hadn't had because Kyle, where we host our game nights, moved. He finally moved. He's been like in the process of moving. He finally got a new house. So we hadn't had a game night in like 2-3 months. But we're finally next Saturday got a game night, which is good. So we can get back to playing board games because I miss it. It's weird, fun social time. It's a lot of fun just getting together and playing these games with friends.
If you want to play some games with our email address, you can. Our email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Again, that email address is theshow@justcoolenough.com. Send in your thoughts. You guys play any games or have any suggestions for games? I would really appreciate it because it is a lot of fun, and also we're always looking for new board games to play.
Yeah, I play a lot. I was my improv school did sort of a impromptu game night, and I brought Sushi Go, which is a fun little simple card game. It's like simple, easy to learn, but it's got a lot of strategy to it. And I played it. I brought it because it was like the only thing I got that wasn't like super incredibly complicated, like all my other board games
or something.
The Dead of Winter is like that's the one. Like we never play it because it's only 5 people and it takes forever to play, and we always have more. So I brought Sushi Go because it was a fun, simple one. And we ended up playing it for like 2 hours straight, just constantly playing round after round after round. Because people like it doesn't take that long to get the hang of it, and then once you do, you start to realize the strategy, and you're like, yeah, this is quick. Let's go again. Let's go again.
That's I actually got to play Exploding Kittens also.
That's another great one.
That game gives me anxiety. Like the whole objective of Exploding Kittens is not to explode.
Yeah, that's the
deck
one thing.
is stacked like to make you explode. So unless you can play a card to de-explode or just not,
there's a diffusion card which
right.
will keep you from exploding, but there's only so many of those, and there's like a finite number of them, but there's never a finite number of explosions. Those are always get folded back into the deck, so
right.
There's always going to be more explosions.
That game, that was anxiety. That game was like playing Don't Starve for me, because Don't Starve is a computer game where you try not to starve for a very long time, and that game and Exploding Kittens both give me anxiety because there's just so much impending doom. Yeah, and every like card you play, every step you take, it's just impending doom.
That's the thing. Like in Don't Starve, eventually you will die, probably of starvation, but maybe something else. You can't possibly never not die. And then in Exploding Kittens, you're probably going to explode at some point. Everybody but one person does. Whoever's
deck is stacked against you.
And the longer the game takes, the faster the explosions start coming because the deck gets smaller.
Right. So I would recommend that one. The rules aren't too hard, and you could just pick that up within a few minutes. So,
and the cards are all drawn by the guy who does the oatmeal, which is fun.
Yeah, you know, we had the not safe for work version, and then we played the safe for work version. Both of them are really funny. But
we just mixed the decks together.
That's probably a good idea. But I probably would have. The not safe for work version was pretty funny. Like I don't think you'd really tell what ones were which unless you actually kept the deck split. Because some of the safe for work ones were actually like worse. It's like, oh god, her what did what? Oh my. We play. Cards Against Humanity. I know the basic deck too well. Did you ever play that?
What?
The Cards Against Humanity?
Yeah, we play that a lot. My friend Eric has the bigger, blacker box, or the biggest, blackest box, which is it's literally like 3.5 feet long box for just cards Against Humanity, and he has like all the sets that fit into it. I think he has every set released, and it doesn't even fill the box. But I liked it at first, but I'm kind of we play it a lot. And also it's, I don't know, it just doesn't. I've sort of grown
It
not
doesn't.
enjoying it as much. It's like
Well,
it,
because there's a shock
it's a
value
game
when you
for,
first hear the cards,
yeah,
right?
it's a shock value. But the more I played it, the more I realized it's a game for people who aren't funny to think they're funny. You know?
Ooh, oh wow! It's like a Mad Lib of being hilarious.
Yeah, I enjoy. We play it a lot. It's not a board game; it's a video game. But Fibbage, and they just released Fibbage 2, which we haven't had a chance to play. Which I'm hoping we'll get a chance at our next game night. But Fibbage is great, and Quiplash, all the stuff from Jackbox. Those feel like games for people to be funny rather than just. We
Maybe
played.
is Fibbage like the next level? Because I actually one of the better Joe actually was telling us you guys should play Fibbage on air. You just get another person play Fibbage. It'll
Well,
be
yeah,
fun.
Fibbage is good. Quiplash is nice too because you can have spectators and stuff, so it's great for like Twitch streaming. I think Fibbage is kind of, it's the hard thing about Fibbage is it's
I don't know anything
hard to
about
play.
it.
It's hard to play it over the internet because you need like the central screen. I don't know how. If we were all in the same place, it'd be great, but I think it'd be kind of harder to play over the internet. We could do it, but the experience of playing in a room with people is so good. I don't know if it's as fun, but essentially it is. I think the game is Balderdash, or I don't know what it is, but basically
Balderdash. I thought that was a word they only used in England in the 1910s.
I think it's a game. I might be mistaken, but essentially you get asked a fill in the blank question like that has an answer, but you write down a lie, a fake answer, and then all of everybody who's playing, their lies get posted up, and one of the answers is the truth, and then you have to guess which one's the truth. And if you guess the truth, you get points. But if somebody guesses your lie, then you also get points.
Oh, see, that game already gives me anxiety because I'd have to write in front of people, and
Well,
so like
yeah,
that scares
spelling
me.
can be kind of
Yeah,
kind of
doesn't that play into your problems?
yeah,
Though? Like,
it changes my answers a lot,
but
a
that's
little.
the worst because like
Especially when like you'll see like two answers that are exact same, but one of them spelled right and one spelled wrong.
you're like, oh, this one's Eric.
But it's led for. I mean, we. I mean, it can be so much fun. But I've played Fibbage so much. I start seeing the questions repeat a lot. So that's why I'm excited for Fibbage 2 because it'll be all new questions that I don't know the actual answers to.
Yeah, it's funny because some of these games, like I think a game like Cards Against Humanity, or it sounds like Fibbage, they have a shelf life. They really have like a finite amount of time where the game is fun and interesting, and then it's like, okay, yeah, what did Hitler do with the thing at the thing? That's
Well,
another
the thing about, I guess, in defense of Cards Against Humanity, is that it's not just what's the most shocking thing you can come up with. It's what's the thing that will make the person picking laugh the most. And so if you're adding new people, then it's like this whole strategy.
And I think a lot of people I play with miss that, and so like I know what one's funny, but I know that this other person obviously put it, so it's like I'm gonna pick this one because
I remember I was playing once at a friend's house, and there was only a couple of, and I'd never played with any of these people before, but one of the girls, like I realized very early on that it wasn't like the most disgusting or outrageous thing. It was like the cutest thing. Like I remember one of my answers was like a pig in rain, or a miniature pig in rain boots, because I realized that was more likely to win than my dad's severed penis shoved up Jesus's bum hole, or whatever.
Two midgets shitting in a bucket.
Yeah, which
Again.
I think is an actual one. A miniature pig in rain boots won over like whatever the crazy outrageous, a dinosaur fisting Hitler or something.
Yeah, it's always that one, or the Trail of Tears,
like
or something.
Batman almost always gets me, even if it's not the funniest answer. I'll usually go with Batman.
Yeah, it's like, and there's obviously the like. One of them was like, if you were gonna be king for a day and erect a giant statue of who? And then it's like, okay, somebody's gonna play Darth Vader. I'm gonna pick Darth Vader. And then I look around. I'm like, I'm not just gonna give that one up. Like maybe I'll make a statue of your grandma's hairy molars or
Yeah.
something, you know, like, oh god, why would you pick that? I'm like, because it's gross. But I'm like, I really would have picked the Darth Vader one, but I didn't want that person to get the points. So I don't know if that strategy element comes into it
It's
yet.
not like a mega thing because mostly it's and it's also fun. It can be fun because we've got like custom cards, or Eric has custom cards that
Yeah,
so we'll
that's
be like
always fun.
what's the one thing I can't live without? And one of the cards is like Kyle McCarley's ass, so that'll be fun sometimes. But just as I've said, it's more of a game for people who aren't funny to feel funny than a game for, because all my friends are, for the most part, funny people. We're all in various capacities actors or in the industry of entertainment, so we don't need a game like that to make us funny.
I think one of the I don't know, it was like one of the write-in cards is something I never heard about. It was like Mississippi mud pie or something. I have no idea what it was.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a thing.
That's always
But
fun. Yeah, when you
so
get
like,
someone when you get someone to play cards that they don't know.
oh god. Well, I just looked up Mississippi mud pie. The second definition on Urban Dictionary was it was the one that I think they were referring to. But yeah, so
That was
I
like we had somebody play the taint, and then the person picking didn't know what the taint was, and we
oh,
were like, we had to explain it, and
is
then
there like, okay, yeah. I was
yeah,
like, do you have a rule, or is it just like you have to Google it if you don't know what it is? Or
I don't know. Who did,
how do you not know what a taint is in this day and age?
yeah, I don't know. This
What,
person
what
didn't.
kind of sheltered life did this person lead? I actually, that's the best part of the game, is you really feel out the borders of someone's sanity with these kind of games, and I think that's the best part, because it's a big social experiment, and it gives you a window, and sometimes you wanted to see there, and sometimes you're like, oh, so you're that guy. You're like, oh, really, that's the person? Okay, well. But can you really draw conclusions with these things?
I mean, sometimes. I mean, you can play to like this person always laughs at gross sex stuff, so play gross sex stuff, and that kind of informs some of the stuff about them. But a lot of it is just armchair psychology bullshit that doesn't actually matter.
I like that. I like that a lot. That's what makes the games fun. It's accessible and it makes people feel funny. It's a good mix.
Yeah,
Cartoons, humanity, and stuff.
it's a fun game that my opinion's been tainted from playing so much of it for the past
What's a
5
taint?
goddamn years. Yeah,
Did you say tainted?
yeah.
Weird. I'll have
That's
to look
that's
that up on
when
Urban
that's when you
Dictionary.
grab your balls, pull them up, and then you just rub your taints together.
Oh, tainting. You're
Yeah,
tainting. Or tainted, yeah. I got tainted last night.
yeah. You're like, I didn't enjoy it that much.
Yeah, it
There's
really
not a
wasn't.
lot of pleasure in painting.
It's like scissoring, but for men.
Yeah,
Tainting. You tainty bastard.
yeah.
Like, I just feel like you could use it in a lot of different ways now. I don't think we've actually verbified taint yet. So, uh, yeah, verbified's a word too. I made that up.
Probably.
Yeah, there you go. So what else happened this week? Anything new, awesome, or
Well,
exciting?
well, I got to drive all the way to the City of Industry to drop off my motherboard that I bought that didn't work out for me.
The
But
City of Industry,
which is
San Bernardino.
no, it's called the City of Industry. It's the
Oh,
City of
okay. I
Industry.
thought
That's
City of Industry, Silicon Valley, the
no, it's a place.
where
It's a place called City of Industry where there's
City
just
of Industry, California, where
it's
the men
mostly
were men and the women are clerical
it's mostly
workers.
factories and shit.
City
Which
of
is
Industry, factories, fresh to you
yeah,
products. I'm running out of ideas. It's actually
you
called
could
City of Industry.
yeah, City of Industry.
City of,
That's its
I want
name.
to live there. It sounds like a very productive place.
Yeah, you would probably like it. A lot of trucks. There
Ooh,
was a
okay.
nice. I got to see. I was so. I wish if I wasn't driving, I would have taken a picture. But there was one of those car dealerships with a giant inflatable blue gorilla,
Just
and there was the backdrop of these mountains which were snow capped. I was like, this would be so beautiful if I wasn't driving right now. I would so Instagram this. I thought about pulling over just to do it, but yeah, I drove.
Did you take the 605 or the 210 or the 5? Like, how
I
did you
took
get it?
I took the 101 to the 5 for just like a little bit, so that I could actually. It wasn't technically the 5 yet. I took the 101 to the 60.
Yeah, I stopped over at Baldwin Park and then drove past El Monte. I was just, I listen to too many podcasts that are based out of the LA area, so it's like I feel like I should be able to talk in detail about LA traffic and
That's the
stuff.
craziest thing about like that Saturday Night Live sketch, The Californians. You're like, that's funny because it's, and then you realize how much of that is a thing here.
It's like it's not even funny. It's just like you're putting the mirror on it. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
the 75 is not something we say.
Yeah, but I returned that, so I'm gonna, once I get my refund, I'm gonna use that money to buy a bunch of miniature plastic rat figurines. Because we talked about last week, I was thinking about getting into Kings of War, the wargaming, and people have started to buy sets for Kings of War. And I wasn't sure, like, I wanted to kind of go goblins, but my friend Jordan was thinking about going goblins. I was like, well, I want to get like a different army from him. I want, if we're all playing the same army, then
right, yeah, I understand.
and then,
you don't want to be the same. You don't want to see yourself coming and going.
Well, no, it was just like fucking like we'll probably all use each other's armies at some point, like when we're fighting. So what if we have like duplicates? That's like why even bother? But
is there a robot people? Can I be them?
No, because it's fantasy. At least not yet. There
This
isn't.
is my
But
biggest problem with fantasy.
well, it was funny because like I was looking at like the armies. I was like, well, if I'm not going to go goblins, what? I was like, we've got dwarves and undead now because he bought the kit, and then like one guy was thinking about going to abyssal dwarves, and I was like, maybe elves or those angel people, and then my friend Daryl was talking about how they released a bunch of rules for armies that they don't actually have models yet for. So you can buy, it's actually encouraged in this game. You don't have to like buy that, like in Warhammer, if you don't have these specific ones, it doesn't count. Whereas this game, they're like, fuck it, buy whichever ones you think work. And then I was looking at, I got the rules, and because they have most of them for free anyways. I was looking at the different sets, like, because he was thinking about going lizard people. And there's a race called Ratkin.
Oh my god!
So, which they don't have any models for. But there's a plenty of little rat models for the Skaven, which are a race in Warhammer, which are essentially what these are. So I can just buy a bunch of Skaven models and paint those up. So now I'm gonna start doing that. But I was looking it up. Like still, it's not inexpensive. It's not inexpensive to buy these. It costs a little more than I was hoping for. But to buy these packs and put them together. But I was looking on eBay because I thought maybe I could get some of these boxes for cheaper. And you can, like, for a few bucks. But what really kind of bummed me out and excited me at the same time, like getting like a box of unassembled, like unopened box of these miniatures, which you have to like cut open and then glue together, is like, $30, $35, which is kind of standard on eBay. I could get it for like $29 or $28, save a couple of bucks. But if I got like this same, like this box comes with like 20 rats, but then I could get these same 20 rats.
Box of rats. You're going to spend $35 on a box of rats.
$35 on a box of pieces of rats that I have to glue together.
Rat pieces. A $35 rat box of pieces.
Box of 20 rat pieces. Whereas for like $16, I could buy already assembled ones. And I thought, so I could save money by buying them pre-assembled, but I want to buy them unassembled because I think that's part of the fun is putting them together.
Yeah, I mean, like you just sifting through rat parts and just putting them together,
and
it's
then
like Legos,
painting them. So I think I'll definitely like buy a box or two of unassembled ones, and then I think I might supplement that by buying like people selling their already stuff. Because
if you could use anything,
it struck me as a little.
Well, I was gonna say, like, if and I'm totally changing the subject. So, what did it strike you as?
No, it struck me as weird that the idea of somebody like an unopened box costs more than somebody having opened it and done all the assembly for you is cheaper, which seemed like weird. But I guess I understand why. I just was like, I thought it would like cost a lot more to.
Like, can't you get them expertly, like buy them on Etsy for like double the price? They're
painted? there are plenty that like people who sell like I've got these and they're expertly painted, so they cost significantly more than anything else. But the ones that are like unpainted or just like primed and maybe like a simple paint job or are on par, if not maybe a little cheaper than buying the unassembled ones.
See, what I would do is I would get those, and then I would brand each one like they were my property, like tss, like right on the feet or something, like and then put a story behind them and make them robots somehow. Like, can I just play with Legos? Can I bring like a bunch of Lego dudes and like have guns and stuff? And be like, this guy,
Maybe
he does double damage when he's on this hill.
Well, as long as they're within the rules, like you could be like, these are my werewolves. They look like every other. This is my squad of 6 werewolves. They look like
have
every
this
other.
color hair. The werewolves have this color hair.
So
and then, my
they're
archers have these.
They get a movement of 12 inches, and then you just move your 6 little Lego guys 12 inches, and they have rallying 1 and crushing 3.
I would totally do it like that. Like I would have a Lego army fighting the beasts of whatever fantasy land.
Some guys like this incredibly well painted army of like ogres and like siege engines, and you just using like
real working siege engines that he has like small steam powered engines actually.
And you just have your assembled Lego X-wings.
Like, this is the Millennium Falcon. It's operating as my base of operation.
Yeah.
This is you can't get in because I didn't open it. It's not allowed. Your things couldn't actually hit the laser. This is lasers.
I forgot to mention it has a deflector shield.
You can't make up rules. You can't make up rules like that. Yeah. Your arrows can't penetrate the deflector shields, and I'm gonna nail you like a womp rat back home. So like I'm gonna shoot you right now. Yeah, actually, like full-size Lego battles. That's what I want to see with real damage.
Yeah.
Like, because they have the Lego, or they have the Star Wars game, right? They have
the Star Wars Armada.
Yeah, so like it would be really cool if you used like the hundreds of dollars Lego sets and actually they took damage accordingly. So like, oh well, you're playing with these thousands of dollars worth of Legos, multiple thousands of dollars.
You spend $1,000 on these Legos, and then you bring actual rocks or bricks, and you just like, well, I hit him, and you throw it, and if it completely falls apart, then you destroyed it.
No, you take the guts out of a microwave.
Yeah.
This is and then like you like put it around like a Pringles can, so it like hones the microwaves, and you just melt parts of the Lego. Like you need to destroy these Legos, real battle damage. Like that's what I'm talking about. So I want fires on different decks. I want melting the faces. I want space explode. It needs to be in space also. Like this needs to be played in the bay of a space shuttle or on the International Space Station. That's how I want it.
Sneak into the California Science Center to play your weird Space Armada Legos games inside the Endeavour spaceship.
Boo 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 boo. It ends up just being me running around the bay of Endeavour, just using the arm to like move my Lego pieces.
I'm pretty good at that arm thing. And there was the space exhibit. They had you could test it. It was like you had to pick up a ball and then drop it in a place. And I could do it with the little robot arms.
With your skills, I'm going to be able to move all the Lego sets. Yeah. With our teamwork.
It's just like a giant fist. It's like, I destroy it.
Crash.
Crash.
This is a replica of the Canada arm. We hooked it up to the Endeavour, and we're just smashing Lego sets with it. Crash. Oh, looks like your X-Wing took 13 damage from this TIE fighter. Yeah, so if we could do that.
That'd be great.
Can you light firecrackers? Like maybe just like lady fingers or something, like those little
it's harder to find those in California. We'd have to like pop over to Nevada and then buy
where everything's legal.
Fireworks. Yeah.
I'll have 14 fireworks and
yeah, you can get like M80s and shit, and like you just gotta pop over the border, buy some M80s and shit.
See that, and like you set traps on your land, and like your expertly painted $60 piece of hardware landed on my M80 landmine.
My shockwave explosion sets off this meteor or sets this asteroid rolling, and you just grab one of the actual asteroids that they have, like meteorites that you stole, and you just hunk it.
What?
Yeah.
See, that's like, can we please play that? Like, that's what I need.
You
It
go
needs to be on the
ahead.
scale.
I'll meet you there.
It needs to be on the scale of at least like the Harry Potter chess game in that Chamber of Secrets. I think
Yeah.
that's the movie, like or the book or whatever. Like it needs to be like that, like that big, human sized, real life for death. And honestly, who programmed those things in Harry Potter? Like seriously, like what magic spirit can beat like 4, 6 year olds?
Dumbledore did it, or it was Snape, or it was Voldemort. I don't know.
It was Snape the entire time.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can import a couple a couple of fireworks for the good of the game.
Yeah.
But like, is there any like when something dies in the game? Are you just like knock it over like okay he's dead he took damage, or are you like do you act it out like it's like a D&D kind of thing?
I don't think in wargaming. I don't think so. I mean, you maybe can, but I think it's more like okay, you destroy these units and you just pick them up off the board or something. I don't know. I don't know. I've not played it yet. I've not invested way too much money in little plastic rat figurines yet. So as soon as I do, I will update all of you fine listeners.
Yeah, I need to know. I need to know because I want to play a fantasy based game and dress up like Admiral Tarkin, like out of Star Wars, and be like, yes, everything's going exactly to plan, or something like that. So, what is it called? Wargaming?
Yeah.
All right, I need to do more research. If only they had some sort of computer game we could play that was similar.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that they don't. Computer games have not progressed past Breakout.
Yeah, we haven't came up with that genre yet. It doesn't exist. Don't even look for it.
I mean, if only there was some sort of recently released Star Wars game where you could be TIE fighters and X-Wings and Millennium Falcons shooting each other. But sadly, such a thing has never been invented.
Yeah, it's once technology reaches a certain point, though, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have nothing. I mean, I've had such an uneventful week. It's been the least eventful week I've ever had. This year, like I said, 2016, gonna lay low, not gonna make any big waves or anything. Even though, like, I bought that car 4 days in the year, but I'm just gonna lay low after that, though. So, like, nothing big happening. We're not doing anything crazy. That's what I'm gonna try. So next week, don't expect any big news or anything. I'm not plugging anything. I'm just trying to like hold myself back from doing something crazy. More on this next week. Eric, do you have any plugs? Or is it? I think it's almost that time, right?
Yeah, it's time we stop talking about all this bullshit and start plugging each other.
All right.
My plug for this week is, I guess I'll plug. There's a group of people over at the Nerdist. So,
the Nudist.
Yeah, at the Nudist stage. At the Nerdist stage, that they basically a ragtag group of people doing videos and stuff like that. It's kind of a very loose sketch team of like just whoever wants to be a part of it. Called Senior Ditch Day. And I've been doing work with them. Basically, just been a glorified PA for them, which has been fun. Helping them make videos and stuff. So I guess I will plug Senior Ditch Day because maybe someday I will make a video for them. That's not how you spell senior or ditch. You got day right.
Okay, thanks, Eric. I put it in the show notes so we remember to put it in the show notes.
Yeah,
it was really. I know it was really off. I was almost anyway. So, so is it like a bunch of senior citizens? Is this like a volunteer project or something?
No, it was. That's just the name they came up with. It's mostly people. I want to say my age, but I'm old as fuck. But yeah, it's mostly just comedy people from the Nerdist and stuff. There's kind of a flow of people. There's not like a set number of people or anything. It's just kind of whoever wants to do stuff can do stuff, and it's been great. I've helped them make a couple of really interesting sketches that should start to come out pretty soon, and it's been good. They do some pretty good work. They're pretty quick on doing stuff. So look, they got a lot of stuff already, and.
Do you call it Senior Ditch Day? Because when I was a senior in high school, at least we call it Senior Skip Day. Is this a regional thing?
I think I don't know. I feel like Senior Ditch Day was what we called it.
Okay. That just, I mean, it was a long time ago for both of us at this point. So, I mean, if only we had some sort of expert teacher here to tell us what the kids are
He's
calling
not in
it
high
these.
school. He's teaching like
But I mean, like, he's still
babbies and stuff.
closer than us, so he would be our expert. Like, he's not. It's like it's not a scientist, but she plays one on TV, so that's the person you would ask. Like, it's the same thing. It's really weird. Sarah's mom, she always asks me about things like, hey Joe, what Italian bread is the best bread for blah blah blah. I'm like, I can make up something, but I really don't know. I mean, like, I've tried, like kind of
Focaccia.
alluding.
Just
It's like,
always say focaccia.
I don't have these kind of answers. Like, hey, when you do, what does it mean when this olive oil is from this region and this one's the other one? I'm like, well, they're from different regions, so.
Well, that region, just do what I
Uh,
do, and just completely make it up, deadpan. Well, that region, the that region's heavily mafia influenced, but that's you want that because they bury a lot of bodies in the olive
right.
fields, which
It's a
actually gives
high
it a
iron.
richness.
Yeah, it adds a richness to it, and it's actually healthier too.
Yeah.
So, and you can use less of it in the recipe, so it's a good thing. My plug for this week is a YouTube channel called Now You See It. I think I plugged him a few weeks ago, or something like that. Now You See It is he's kind of a film critic, I would call him critic, and he kind of deconstructs parts of movie and cinema and does it very nicely. So his latest video just came out today, Wednesday, the 13th, 2016, and it
Of
is
January.
of January, and it is the problem with trailers, and it highlights exactly why I have a problem with trailers. So go check it out. Now You See It. It's he's got a wildly popular channel, and I think it all started with the with his review of the Karate Kid and how that guy was the bad guy the whole time. So everybody's been talking about the show that's like How to Make a Killer or something like that.
Making a Murderer.
That's the one. Like, everybody's talking about that. I haven't seen it. You've seen it?
No, I did watch Senior Ditch Day released a. They did they just released today. It was a parody of that show How It's Made.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boop, 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 boop,
One of the
boop,
guys did
boop.
a parody of that. It's like How It's Made, a murderer. There's a huge spoiler for the show, so now I know everything that happens in the show. But it's just like How It's Made, a murderer. First, take a small town, and it's like, and like he intercuts footage from like the show, and also just random stock footage of factories and stuff like that. He does it like so on point. It's really fun.
That'd actually be a cool series. Yeah.
Well, you can watch it in my plug.
Oh yeah, I will. I'll go check it out right now. Thanks to
Also,
Eric.
if you've not watched Steven Universe, start watching it. I all this like months people have been telling me it's good and I should watch it. And I never did, and then I started, and it's fucking amazing.
I've gotten like 10.
It's on par with Adventure Time. I will go right out there. If you like Adventure Time, you'll like Steven Universe.
So like I got like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm gonna put a pin in it until a little bit later when I really feel like watching something like that. But I ended up finishing the anime Fate. Anyway, we're actually out of time. Thanks for everyone that has showed up in the live chat room, which I don't think anybody did, but I did a really job plugging it this week. So, guys, come back next week at 6:30 Eastern Time, whatever time it is for you guys. Other places in the world, you can figure it out because you have the internet. I'd like to give a shout out to Chris over at Shout Engine for making the podcast possible every week. You can get your own podcast for free, up and running in under 5 minutes at shoutengine.com. Go check it out. And also, we like to extend our deepest gratitude and thanks to Todd over at Alpha Geek Radio for streaming us with all the other great shows available over on Alpha Geek Radio. You can get us live streaming all over the place, including Roku, Xbox, and anywhere that streams live things. So thanks again to Todd over at Alpha Geek Radio. And go check out Daily Tech News Show with Tom Merritt. That's my preferred Alpha Geek Radio tech news show. So that's about it, man. We did it. We did the show.
And I just want to do a loving tribute. We lost someone this week, someone very important to us.
He's a star, man.
He's a star, and he's a troll you leader.
No! waiting in the sky, and I'm not trolling you later. That's how Eric says goodbye.
To troll you later.
Seriously though, he just went back to his home planet.
Yeah.
I think that was like basically a moment of silence between you and me.
Also, just awkward silence.
Awkward silence, moment of silence.
Yeah, we do a lot of moments of silence.
Let's do one right now.
Yeah.